Hi ESA, I am Mohawk and this is Kururin on Game Boy Advance. You may remember this game from last year, where I've done an 80% run on emulator, but this time I'm willing to do 100% on actual hardware. Like, I have now a Game Boy Advance SPE and I've practiced a lot on it. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to capture it right now, so I'm gonna do my submission run on emulator. But just that you know that I'm ready to run this game on console. I'm gonna put a link with the live run on the description. So yeah, I'm gonna explain what 100% is about during the run. So let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. So first, what is this game? Well, there you have the game. Basically, it's a mix of the puzzle and racing genres. Well, you control the Kururin, which is sort of helicopter, which slowly spin around itself. Basically, go from point A to point B throughout the levels. But that's not it, because you have a lot of other additional goals that you could go for, and this is what 100% is about. So first we're gonna complete all the levels without taking damage. Whenever you do that, you get a star on the map to reward you, and this is completing the levels without taking damage is actually necessary to unlock some of the levels. So we have to do that anyway. We'll also collect everything that is available, birds and makeup, so I'm gonna talk about this later. And we also have to beat the master time. So you have a grade system on this game. You have 3 grades: trainee, professor, master, and we're gonna go for the highest grade. So I have to beat a time on nearly every level. Unfortunately, they are not explicitly shown, but I have a list on them right next to me so that I don't forget, so that I can check everything. So you have a grand total of 93 levels that we're gonna do in under 40 minutes if it goes well. They are split into 2 main modes. Here we are in adventure mode. This is where all the collectibles are. Later on we're gonna do challenge. As you will realize, the levels are very different throughout the run. Like, there are several kinds of levels. We have some very short and technical ones, and then you have some really long and stressful ones. And by long, I mean like more than 1 minute long. So whenever I take damage, I'll have to restart a level from the very beginning. There's never a checkpoint like this. Well, even though you might see those pink zones, like horde zones, these are healing zones, because normally, as you can see on the bottom left, you have a health meter with 3 hearts, so you could get hit like twice and still live. But here the life meter doesn't matter, because we're going for damageless levels. So yeah, healing zones are pretty useless, ultimately. So most of the time, the way I'm gonna save time is to skip rotation cycles. Like, as you can see, most often you'll have to wait for the good angle to go through the narrow paths, just as I did. But it's possible in several times to skip some 180, like as I'm gonna do right now. See, if I go fast enough, then I don't have to wait. And this is actually gonna be extremely important to beat all the master time. Like right now, I've also skipped another cycle. And some of the master times are really tricky to get if you don't skip the cycles. And it gets even trickier when you realize that you also have to get the collectibles at the same time. I'm gonna tell you whenever we're in a difficult stage. So here we are in a difficult stage. So I'm gonna have to skip a cycle. You're gonna see the collectible. The collectible is positioned at a really bad spot. If I miss the cycle skip, then I do have a backup, but it's harder. So let's go. Oh no. Oh well. Let's try again. At least you have unlimited lives. I think that I should be fine with the 45 minutes estimate. Like, I've done a couple no-reset runs, and so far my worst run has been 40 minutes and 30 seconds, I believe. But yeah, this category really needs a longer estimate. So yeah, the Cake-Long to it is this kind of level that is super long. But as it is long, then we don't have to worry about the master time, because we're gonna have many occasions to skip some cycles and go faster than intended by the devs. So I'm mostly gonna be careful on not hitting any wall. Like, this speedrun category is really curious, because the best way to go fast is actually not to go fast every time, at every moment. Like, you have 3 levels of speed, depending on how many A/B buttons you're holding. If you hold nothing, then you go the slowest speed. If you hold both buttons, then you go the fastest. But of course, if you always go the fastest, then you're gonna get in trouble in the narrow paths, where it's not necessary, because you just can't save any time. Like right here, there's no point going fast. So I'll take my time just to make sure that I don't hit any wall. And here's the final skip of the level. So yeah, I'm gonna use the 3 levels of speed pretty evenly. Of course, most of the time, whenever I can, I try to go the fastest speed. As I say, it's not always a rhythm. There's something else that is really interesting, and this is about the springs. As you can see, springs have 2 main utilities. First one being to change the way you rotate, like clockwise or counterclockwise, and the second being to speed up your rotation. Alright, so yeah, this level is really annoying. As I said, you have many kinds of levels, and this Cave 2 really is one of the less developed ones, for good reason. Really annoying level design. Okay, so I'll take my time right now. Because I've skipped another cycle at the beginning of the stage, so I'm gonna take my time right now. Like, it's possible to skip some of the cycles, but it's just too risky. And I don't need to take the risk for a marathon run. Alright, so here comes two of the hardest stages. Yay, first try, okay. So I really need to skip this cycle, which is extremely tricky, otherwise there's no way for me to beat the master time. Like, I was less than 0.3 of a second better than the master time. Same right here, but I don't need to skip a cycle. Rather, the difficulty will come from the narrow pass. See, I have to go there to grab the collectible. And yeah, it's really difficult to get it first try, but we did, so that's cool. On the contrary, this level is not too technical, but it is extremely long, so it will be really unfortunate to hit a wall, especially at the very end. Alright. So I'm gonna go for a slow route, which is easier. And I'm gonna barely make it on time before the master time. I was less than a second better than the master time right here. But we're good, we're good. This is a good pace right now. However, well, I shouldn't say that, because we're only 10 minutes in. It's 40 minutes long category. Alright. So remember what I said about Cave 2 with all these springs? Where here we go again with Star on 3 and the questionable level design. And by questionable level design, I mean, look at that. I don't know where they got that, the ideas from making this level, but I really don't like it. It went well though, so that's good. So here you have two levels which are basically like just relax before the storm is coming. Like Iceland 1 and Iceland 2 are short, both short and pretty lenient about the master time. Like, I can really take my time. And then the end of the adventure mode is really brutal, and you're gonna see what I mean by brutal in a couple minutes. Right now, we're still in the chill world of Iceland. I'm gonna take my time, you know, just focusing enough in order not to make any stupid mistake. So here I'm turning counterclockwise so that I can go there. There's no way I can go there by turning clockwise. So as you can see, there's some careful planning in some levels, especially in the latter ones, and we're coming in those stages with a lot of cycles. See, you have a lot of moving objects. Here we have pistons, I think. But it's not completely like it's not too how should I put it? Like, it's pretty okay to have these moving objects because the cycles are local. And what I mean by local is that there's always gonna be the same when you enter a level. So you only have to remember one strat. You can really have setups, like in this level. It's gonna be super important throughout the whole level to follow my setup. So I know everything that is a potential danger. So, like right now, and the last. Oh, cool! I'm so glad this was first try, because this is the kind of level where you can just choke. And I really don't want this to happen. But keep in mind that we're not done. The hardest stuff is still coming. So be careful. Like right now, see how this was really close. But I really need to, so that the rest of the level is gonna be easier. And by easier, I don't mean easy either. See how I was talking about careful planning? Like, whatever I was doing at the very beginning was really important for the very end of the level. Alright, so here we go for Ghost Castle 1. Again, lots of cycle shenanigans. Hopefully I'm not gonna restart too many times. Might be a bit late. Okay, I made it this time. Again, I really need to do that so that the end of the level is gonna be way easier than it should be. Because at the very end you have cannons, and you see they're not shooting. At least they're shooting after I'm good. They shoot only after I'm past them, so again, careful planning. Alright, so now Ghost Castle 2. As you can see, I was really eager to get this cycle skip at the very beginning. Not really because I want to beat the master time. I do have a lot of margin, but rather because I really want to get good cycle, especially with the cannons. So if I do always the same thing or about the same thing, then I'm gonna get the same result. I really want to get the same result right here. See, I just go there super fast so that I don't have to worry about the cannons. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for another cycle, because getting hit there would mean a 45 seconds loss. Again, I'm gonna wait, but then I don't know the cycle for the cylinder. Okay, now I should be good. It's better to just wait. Okay, so just taking my time, and good. Told you this was getting stressful, but I really think that this is the kind of game and category that could be really engaging for the audience. I mean, it's really not an easy task for me, by no means, but I really enjoy doing this, especially live. Could be a pretty interesting experience. Alright, so Ghost Castle 3. I'm gonna use the in-game timer this time. So the way in-game timer works is really strange for a couple of reasons. The main reason we're not using it in most speedrun categories is that it only starts when you leave the starting zone. Like, it would make sense for ILs, but not really for speedrunning categories, because sometimes you would have to wait for Gundungle in order to get the fastest in-game time, and it doesn't make sense. At least if you want to beat the level as fast as possible. Alright, so now I reset the game, and there's a very good reason for that. So I haven't said a word about the story yet, so I think it's a good time. The story is the reason why I reset the game. So basically we're this bluebird Kururin that you can see at the bottom left, and our goal is to save our siblings that got lost in various mazes. So yeah, that's the plot. And the birds that we were collecting in the levels were Kururin's brothers and sisters. And the thing is, when you collect the last bird, then you should be watching the credits. But we don't want that because they're 2 minutes long and it's not necessary to watch them to unlock the next levels. So just reset and keep going, right? So that's what I did. But don't worry, there's still a way to watch the credits. That could be a good incentive, maybe. I'm gonna do it anyway at the end of this submission run, so that you can see how it looks like. This is gonna be the this was the only like reset strat that I'm gonna do. So now let's talk about the current levels. Last land levels. These were put by the developers as a kind of final challenge, you know. There are extremely long levels with no hard zone, so there's no way to get back life. But so, you know, they were really intended to be very difficult levels. But here we're going for them in an even more difficult way, because we have to do them without taking any damage. And you could see how this could be extremely stressful, because these levels are 1 minute and 1 minute 30 seconds long, and any mistake and I'll lose this 1 minute straight. It might look like I'm keeping my cool, because it's actually not the first time I'm doing them without taking damage, but you know, you can feel the stress. Yeah, so here's the last one. Like, even if I fail them 1 or 2 times, I think I'm still pretty good on the estimate, like 45 minutes. Very good, very good. Nope. I could skip a cycle, but I've already lost a run to this cap cycle skip, so I'm not gonna go for them in the marathon setting. There's actually a lot of time to save in Last Land if you go for like every cycle skip, but it's just so risky, you know. These levels are so long. So I'm gonna just let you enjoy the music while I'm focusing on the very end. Nice! Now that we're done with adventure mode, it's time for challenge mode. So challenge mode is very different in its physiognomy. Like you have 55 levels, it makes up for the majority of the levels. Oh, wait a second. But we complete these 55 levels in under 12 minutes, if it goes well. So of course, as you can guess, these levels are all very short, but also very technical. They all have very difficult master times to beat. So I'm really gonna pay attention to them. It's actually the hardest part of the run to commentate. So maybe I'll need someone else to be there to help me commentate this part. Because there's really a lot happening every time, but I can't really talk about this. At the same time I'm running, you know. Because I have to remember everything. But really, like, the remark I've made about in-game time is really important in this kind of level. Okay. Because there's almost always like a setup for the beginning, because I really want to save any tenth of a second on anger time as I can. I really need to remember what I have to do in the starting zone right when I start a level. So I have my splits as a reminder, but I'll need to remember everything. See, right here I really need to wait. Skip this springs. Man, this is so tense. Like, I really need to pay attention every time. Like, even though these levels are very short, this is really not easy. I really need to stay focused. So, even though I think it's a weaker part of the run, because you know, it's pretty redundant. At least it might feel pretty redundant, because it's always the same background, the same music. But I think that it's the only opportunity to show them off. And I do really believe that they are interesting. Like, you have a lot of narrow paths and interesting strats, like this one. See how I use the wall to push the stick back so that I don't have to wait, which is both an in-game time and a real time ability. Come on. Yeah, this level is pretty annoying. Springs are annoying in general. Oh no, I shouldn't have done that. I went for the fast strat and I don't really like it. Yeah, that's what I thought. So again, what you do in the starting zone is extremely important. Alright, did you see this? This decision making? Okay, yeah, so it's really important, especially about cycles, you know. Okay, this is definitely one of my most favorite stages. Like, it really feels extremely rewarding. You can just go through a level at high speed, when you can cheese completely the level because you were smart or you had a good setup, you know the game. At least that's how I feel when I speedrun this game. So here we have some easy levels to relax a bit, again before the storm. Yeah, nothing difficult right here. Just remember to go fast. Okay, so here I need setup, because this row of springs, it's pretty disturbing, but you really don't only have to hit the springs once. Alright, so I didn't need to do that, but I guess it still works. Yeah, it's really difficult to keep track of everything. Hello, menuing. Thank you. Ugh. Man. Alright, so here comes a pretty difficult strat. Yeah, first try! So yeah, you have to go in between these spike balls. There's really very little margin. Again, here I tap the wall once in the starting zone so that I let the final cylinder go up before I can engage. Now we're coming in one of the levels I hate the most, especially for this part. See how this comes close, but I really need to do that because the master time is pretty tough to beat. Like, right now I beat it by less than a second. So again, here I need to remember to go fast. Okay, no! I thought I hit the spring. Yeah, I really need to hit the spring before the next spike ball shows up. Alright. Oh no. Maybe slow down a little bit. There we go. Nope. I'm getting lost in the menu. Yeah, dude. Menuing is the true final boss. Alright. Actually, the level 9 stages are easier than the rest, in my opinion. Like, see this stage, you just have to go the fastest speed every time. And this spiral stage, you just have to wait. See, nothing difficult. So this is a good pause before the last difficult chunk flows. See the hit? Tap the wall to skip the cycle. Again. Nope. I need to go fast here. Use the spring as a safety concern. Nope. Again. Hit the wall right here at intermediate speed. Like, for some reason the speed is really important, because you're not gonna get pushed the same way, depending on when you're hitting the wall. Alright, so now it should be the time that I get all the grades, and I do, so I just got master grade, so that's cool. I forgot no master time. I'm glad about this, because I really didn't want to redo any stage. Like, only thinking about going through all the stages to figure out which stage is missing its master time. It's just awful. Awful for me, awful for you. Alright. We're almost done. 2 levels left. But again, tricky setups. So I'm gonna try to get them first try. Yeah! So time is gonna be when I enter the goal zone. And time! Whew. Nice, dude! That was a pretty good run overall. 5 seconds of PV. Actually, my PV is not that good. I mean, it's like I could get sub 35, I believe, but still pretty comfortable with the 45 minutes estimate. So let's check quickly that I've got everything. So there should be a star on every level. So challenge is good. We'll check the makeup. So I've got everything. I did. And let's check now adventure mode so that I have all stars. Yeah, and I had the master grade. So it means that this is the valid run. So, as a final word, I'm gonna show what could be a good incentive in my opinion, which would be to show the credits at the end of the run. So remember, when I skip the credits at the end of Cascasa 3, well, there's still a way to watch them, and you just have to complete the 3rd level of any adventure mode world, like I'm doing right now. And the reason for that is that when you save all the burns, which I did, the game is gonna check if you have watched the credits every time, and it's gonna validate that you have watched the credits only if you have watched them entirely. So that's why it's doing this. So for example, if I were to reset the console right now, I will still get the credits when I complete the third level of a world. But once you watch the credits entirely, then you can't watch the credits again, or you would have to play on another save file. But yeah, basically that was Kururin 100%. So hope you enjoyed the run. I wish you a very good day.